The layer stack. PCB, yesterday afternoon, we got the presentation of the PCB materials. And I'm quite sure not everybody was really happy to hear all this material stuff. But it's important. Yesterday, Caspar gave a presentation about making it easy to start a new project. And one of the guys from the around was asking him, can you give us standard layer setups? And he said, yeah, I can include them. Of course he can do. He can include as many as he likes, but they don't help you. If you make a new PCB, every PCB has its own requirements. And yesterday you have seen the variety of materials. Multiply the resins by materials inside, like glass, whatever, by filling, by thickness, whatever. It's an infinite number of combinations you can produce for PCBs with different electrical behavior. You need to know what are the requirements for my PCB. And therefore, you have specialists that know how to make these PCBs. Ask your PCB manufacturer. Don't copy the stack from last time. It was a different manufacturer. You don't know if he uses the same materials. Of course, he can build something that's quite similar, but it's only similar. It's not the same. So you don't know how will it behave. And maybe you get prototyping made in Germany and mass production in China. Most of you will do it like this. You can ask your German PCB manufacturer that he gives you a stack up with materials you can also purchase in China later on. But you need to tell him. Don't use what your purchasing department put into SAP just because it's there. Try to get your stack up. The PCB is the most underestimated component of all the electronic designs. And it's one of the most important components. If it doesn't work, if high-speed routing doesn't work, you're lost. And keep in mind the triple setup of Dan Beaker. You always have a signal, another signal layer, in between you place a ground as the reference. And there are only 2 signal layers for 1 ground layer, not more. As he said, 4-layer setups with signal, ground, signal, signal don't work. It happened last week. I had a customer doing exactly one of these setups, and it was a mess. And he even reworked it. It looked quite nicer than the first version. But no chance for him to make a PCB working on EMC with this setup. And it took me 1 hour of discussion until project manager went to his boss and asked for 6 layers. 5 minutes later, everything was fine. So do it, discuss it, and don't care if project managers insist. They don't have to fix it anymore. They give you the pressure, but they don't fix it. You have to fix it. And even if the PCB is more expensive, of course it's more expensive. 6 layers are more expensive than 4 layers. But going 5 times to EMC lab and having trouble on the end and maybe getting complaints from your customers is much more expensive than buying 6 layers. So fight for your rights. It's your life afterwards, and it can be funny. The triple setup, 6 layers is a triple setup. They are good. 8 layers is not a triple setup. They are, yeah, it can work, but they are cheaper than 10 layers, but 10 layers give you more opportunities. 9 layers you don't get produced. This would be the next 3 thing, but 10 layers are quite good, so you have some space to put some power in between. So choose your setup and always keep in mind triple setup. 1 reference layer, 2 signal layers, and everything is fine.